Have you ever thought, I'll never be able to buy a home because I filed bankruptcy? If you have, you're not alone. I've heard that from a lot of people over the years, and the first question I usually ask is, when did you file? Because that answer actually matters more than you would think. I remember talking with one woman who told me she could never buy a house because she had filed for bankruptcy. So I asked the same question. I said, when did you file? She thought about it and she said about 10 years ago. So I asked her another question. I said, have you looked at your credit recently? The answer was no. She had spent the last 10 years believing that bankruptcy had permanently ruined her chances of becoming a homeowner. But here's the thing. By that point, the bankruptcy wasn't even showing on her credit report anymore. She had simply carried that belief with her for all of those years without ever finding out where she actually stood. And that's why I wanted to make this video, because bankruptcy absolutely matters, and I'm never going to pretend that it doesn't, but it doesn't automatically mean you'll never buy a home. Depending on the loan program and the individual circumstances, someone who filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy may be eligible to buy a home again as soon as 2 years after the bankruptcy has been discharged. And in some cases, someone who's filed a Chapter 13 bankruptcy may be able to qualify after 1 year of on-time trustee payments with trustee and court approval, if they otherwise qualify. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone qualifies after those time frames. Every situation is different. But it doesn't mean bankruptcy automatically ends your dream of home ownership. The type of bankruptcy matters. How long it's been matters. Have you rebuilt credit afterwards? That matters. Your income matters. And quite frankly, the loan programs matter. Different lenders can have different guidelines. That's why I always say, don't decide for the lender. If the bankruptcy is the reason you have not decided to think about buying a home, maybe it's time to have a new conversation. Maybe the answer is not that you need more time. Maybe it is. Maybe you're ready now. But wouldn't you rather know than spending another 5 years believing something that may no longer be true? Look, that's why I make these videos, not to convince everyone to buy a home today, but to help people replace assumptions with information. Because information creates clarity, and clarity helps people make wise decisions. If bankruptcy has made you feel like home ownership isn't possible, I want you to send me one word: possible. No pressure, no obligation, just a conversation. This is Corey Perez, and this is also Home Buying Made Easy, helping people who didn't think they could own become homeowners. Because before you tell yourself no, let's find out what's actually possible.